welcome back. This is part 2 of Brindlewood Bay Golden Grifters. We are doing the GBBB. Oh, I think that's enough B's. All right, great. All right, so on Jolly Good Baking Show. Yeah, the Mavens were like our finalists in the GBBBO. And so therefore, I'm just going to stumble over that every single time. But on the Jolly Good Baking Show, it's like, we've gotten, they've survived it. They've stuck it out this far. Great. And they're with 2 other contestants, Scott Lamb and Melanie. I can't remember Melanie's last name. Give me Melanie Blair. Okay, great.
That's what I have written down in my notes.
Perfect. All right. That's good enough for Bear. All right, great. And so therefore, Mavens are doing great. Maybe not quite up to standard, but there's still 2 more rounds to go before we find out who is the winner of this localized baking show. Okay, judged by Paul and Jane, or it was until Paul was found dead. Moited. Okay, so our Mavens did some investigating. I think Sheriff Dalrymple had come on the scene and gave him the side eye about and then they were told, or it's been gone around, it's like, kind of have to keep this hush hush for now, and just like, just kind of look around and then see who done it. And our Mavens were, of course, very cagey about whether the local officials would be able to solve this terrible crime. But that doesn't stop them from involving themselves in the mix.
Do we need to do our questions now or wait on those?
Did we went over them before?
Yeah, I'm saying pick the new ones.
Oh yeah, if you want to pick the new ones, go ahead and do that now.
I hadn't done that yet.
Yes, I mean, and again, it's like, think on the questions that you've picked and then see if you can work them into the current session, okay, in the upcoming session. And I'm gonna say, let me just double check the Mavens here. Okay, so yeah, it looks like, oh goodness, everybody's got a condition of some sort. And what this means is, for the next session, then the Mavens have the opportunity to do what's called the cozy move. All right. And I'm just going to read that off. The cozy move. When you have an intimate moment with another Maven while one of you is engaged in your cozy activity, you may each clear an appropriate condition. If it's your cozy activity, you can also stumble upon a clue relevant to an active mystery. Tell the keeper what it is. This clue cannot conclusively solve the mystery by itself. So you cannot say, oh, I stumbled on the clue saying, he murdered me, and it was Timothy or something. You can't do that.
A video of
video
that,
Timothy
the murder.
doing it. No, you can't find that. No. So yeah, this is a perfect opportunity. Well, okay. So to wrap up the recap is that bursting in as there is a lull and people are deciding what to do next. There is a lull as a bottle blonde woman bursts in and says, I can't believe somebody killed my Paul, in the shrill way of Donna, Paul's wife. So yeah, that's where we had left off last time. Let me go ahead and just take a little look-see here. So I'm gonna say that, she burst in, sort of a cliffhanger, not really. But I think that the show is going to like take a little bit of time, clean up, bring the body away, just trying to organize itself, and not gonna say anything to the press yet. But they're going to kind of break, and so they kind of send everybody home for the evening instead of doing yet another round. Then they're just going to do it tomorrow whenever they have a chance, because they just want to kind of clean up a little bit. All right, so this is your opportunity to come back for an evening and enact some cozy moves, all right, with each other. So again, it can only be like 1-to-1. So even if you don't have a condition, it's always a fun thing to do, because then we get to see you in scenes together and be able to see well, one, how you interact, and then two, if you can address your condition within the cozy move to be able to clear it. Okay. Sometimes it doesn't make sense. And so you would keep the condition until an appropriate cozy opportunity is found. Okay. So whoever wants to enact a cozy move with each other first, and then the third, excuse me, then the other person can engage in a cozy move with one of the other two. All right. So who wants to pair up first off?
I have an idea for my scrapbooking one.
Ooh.
If somebody would like to partake in some scrapbooking or such with me.
Sounds good to me. I've been doing a lot of baking this week, and that's my cozy move, so I'm just as happy not to be doing my cozy move.
For once.
For once.
This week.
Mhm.
Baking is not such a relaxing thing this week.
Cool. So I imagine you maybe come over to my place, and my scrapbooking area is I wouldn't say it's like relatively organized. It's not, like everything's got a little label and stuff, but it is like you can tell it's sectioned out and organized. And I've got a few scraps of paper, and I have a brand new scrapbook. And I'm like, oh my gosh, let me tell you, I flip it open, and I'm going to reach into my pocket and like bring out a couple crumpled receipts, maybe from a thing. And I'm like, I found these, but also, and I'm gonna like fold them into little origami things and like put them in little folders inside the scrapbook so that they're hidden, but like they're
part of
within
it.
reach. Yeah. So they're within reach, like little mementos. And I'm just like, and I may or may not, I'm trying to think, would I explicitly tell you where I got them from? Or would I just say, I found these receipts? And then would you ask further, I guess, would be the question.
I'm a nosy person. I can't help it. So Mazi, what's the receipts there?
I'd be like, well, this one is from, it looks like Bloomingdale's, and it's got, and I'll just start lifting off stuff that you said was like extravagant expenses.
Yeah, we're talking in the like possibly like home remodeling of a room, expensive, extravagant.
Okay. So I'll start with like the cheaper one, which I guess would be like the Bloomingdale's, and like there's like a couple, like lavish items on there. I don't even know what Bloomingdale sells, but I know it's fancy sounding. I don't shop. And then I'll maybe slide over and show off. I will say there is one from, I'm gonna say from like an Ashley Furniture. And the printout and or invoice receipt kind of thing. The furniture that's listed is like very like high end, almost like that borderline like hand carved mahogany type swanky stuff. It's, there's only like 5 in the US type. And I'm like, but then there's this one. And like, who would buy this stuff and why? And
why is because they want to be surrounded by nice things. That I get. Furniture was never my particular thing because you can't pack it up and move it to the next city. But I get that. But the question of who, that's real interesting.
Yeah. But here's one that's even more interesting. And I'm gonna pull out a third one, and it's got because Mazi's really into car stuff. I'm gonna say she recognizes some items on the receipt are from like a car place, and they're like expensive, like almost if you were retooling a car. So like engine parts or something, and I'll be like, and
refurbishing classic or something.
So like, who's spending all this? Who has all this money?
I see the numbers. I don't speak car, but I see the numbers there. So somebody is splashing out. That's for sure.
And I don't know why. And I don't know who exactly either, because and folding it up into like a cute little swan and like sticking it on the page. So when you open the page, it's like a little 3D pop-up, like it's totally decking it out.
Ah, that is very interesting.
So, and by the way, right after I found these, rather, as I found them, and I'm like still, concentrating on the folding. Timothy came in. I had a lovely little chat with him. So he's close to being caught, though. I don't know if he really saw me. I'm gonna assume
He doesn't
didn't.
strike me as the suspecting sort.
Right.
I think he's a little too off in his own world for that.
100%.
Yeah.
And he was very distracted, given the circumstances and his
Well, sure,
co-host.
everyone was. So yeah, that's interesting. That's very interesting. Yeah.
And you
Well,
had your Oh, go ahead.
Oh, I was just saying that I had a chat with Jane, and that was she's the sort of person that doesn't like to show what she's thinking. So you have to kind of observe for a while and get her to let her guard down. And
Gotcha.
I think I'm on the way with that, but the problem with that is that she's kind of attached to me now.
Oh, you got a friend.
I do. I do.
It might be a
And
good friend, though.
she could be a good friend to have. I just need to make sure that she doesn't get in the way of my ability to do other things.
True.
So, and I mean, I don't want the crime to go unsolved. It's not that I was personally fond of Paul particularly. Those eyes were anyway. But I guess I have a thing for blue-eyed men. I don't know.
No. Who could blame you?
But I really hope Jane didn't do it. If she did, I'm sure she had good reason. But I kind of like her. As long as she doesn't get underfoot. Kind of hard to, do.
Strike that balance.
Yeah. I mean,
When they're just close enough, but not too close.
yeah, happy to chat, happy to talk, cup of tea with a little something in it.
Specialty.
She does like the tea with a little something in it.
Particular something.
Well, what I had was bourbon.
Good choice.
It goes well with tea, I find. I mean, there are things you wouldn't want to put in tea, but
Bailey's.
Bailey's for coffee, not tea.
Yeah.
But I'm hoping I can sort of pull this back a little to that balance I'm looking for.
Hopefully, if you know of a way I can help, just let me know and I'll, guide.
There might be a time when I let's see, if I gesture with a whisk in my left hand, it means could you get Jane's attention off me?
All right.
Thank you.
Will do.
We can
In
wrap this.
return, if there's anything I can do for you.
I don't think Timothy is attached to me, so I think I'll be all right for
Okay.
now.
Good.
I think we can wrap the scene up there. And let's see. Look at conditions. So do you think you're since you're talking about it, you think you're more relieved about the leaf stuck in your hair, Pearl?
I think I am. I think I'm feeling better about that situation.
And I've got a backup plan.
Oh yes. Yeah. Like the backup plan is definitely helpful. And Mazi, do you think that you can kind of like, yeah, I had a couple with Timothy, and then like, I think he's okay.
I think is all right. Yeah, and I don't think he was too scrutinizing to. I stayed off his radar in that respect as well. So
You're a cute old lady. I mean, like, why would he suspect a thing?
yeah, exactly. I'm adorable.
You are. There you go.
Adorable.
Okay. All right. So, Cynthia, you were keeping the heat off of Caviar by distracting Buck.
True.
Do you? Well, I mean, we could do your cozy. Well, I guess it would be your cozy activity. Oh, but speaking of which, so for scrapbooking, Mazi, you have the chance to stumble upon a clue, which could
yes.
be either, as you guys are cleaning up, scrapbooking, or, maybe like, save it for the getting back on set if you want to do some investigation. I mean, like, you would just create a clue for that, and you can put TBD from Mazi into the clue list if you don't have something in mind right now. Okay, just to remind yourself that you need to do it.
Yeah, I don't have anything that comes to mind unless Pearl, you do. If you have a suggestion, I'm open.
Nothing leaps to mind just now.
And I will say, sometimes you can hold it off until just before you do the theorize move, because, maybe you have a particular theory in mind, and then you can put your thumb on the scale by creating the clue at that point, to add to where you think your suspicions lie,
Ooh.
so that's a possibility as well. All right.
All right, I got an idea. I'll just jot it down for maybe something to
Again,
muster over more.
Sure, just TBD from Mazi for the clue. And then let's go over to Cynthia. So Cynthia, do you think you'd be engaging your cozy activity, or you think you'd be hanging with Pearl, like, for a little bit at night?
I was kind of hoping, Pearl, that you would allow me to sort of barge in on your cozy activities, since we are doing a baking competition. I thought maybe you could give me some basics, which we should have done months ago,
Nice.
clearly, but
Yeah, it would have been a good idea, but yeah, sure, we can do that. Yeah, come on over. We'll make something very straightforward, and I'll walk you through some things.
You're probably depending on Caviar to, like, help carry you through.
well, I can always
I mean,
depend on Caviar.
Caviar's welcome as long as the counters are off limits.
That's all right, dear. He's got an appointment with his grooming salon.
Ah,
I'll
good.
come over. Just me.
Okay.
So I know that the next round is biscuits. So I don't know. I was thinking something a little sparkly.
Okay. Sparkly works. You thinking like the edible glitter or sanding sugar kind of sparkly?
Yes, exactly, the edible
Okay.
glitter.
So,
do
you
go
want to
ahead.
go over a straightforward sugar cookie and then talk about how to?
Can we make it chocolate?
Sure.
I just
Easily
love
done.
chocolate. I
So
just love chocolate.
pulling stuff out of the cupboards, which is all in nice, neatly labeled canisters, and pulling out my not fancy high end, but more like restaurant grade cooking gear. It's not the Williams Sonoma catalog, ooh, it's so fancy kind of stuff. It's just, this is stainless steel and it will last a lifetime. Kind of good solid basics.
And while she's pulling out all of her good solid basics, I'm going to be sort of just hanging out and doing what she tells me, and trying to be useful. But I'm sort of hemming and hawing and trying to get around to a conversation. So, Pearl, you were married, weren't you?
Mm-hmm.
Did you ever have any dalliances after?
I did.
I seem to
So
have
did
caught the
Bob.
eye unexpectedly. Sorry, I'm back.
Okay.
Okay.
So
All right.
Pearl is all ears for what this subject is.
I seem to have caught the attention of one of the young men on set, and at first I only did it to take his attention off of Caviar,
Sure.
but now he seems to, well, he gave me a poem, and
Oh.
I feel a little responsible, I guess.
Well.
Do you know Buck?
Oh, Buck. Oh, with the biceps. Mm.
Buck with the biceps, yes.
Mm-hmm. Yes, I know who Buck is.
I
And
just
he's
don't
writing
know
you
what to do.
poetry.
I just don't know it. It's
Well,
truly awful.
it usually is in these circumstances. Um,
I was hoping you
well,
could give me some advice.
sure. Well, the first question you need to decide is what you want out of the situation. Do you want to gently detach him? Do you
Do
want
I
to return his interest? I mean, you have that option if you want to.
do I have to answer the question?
Well, it clarifies what you should do
Oh gosh.
because your course of action is different if you want to shoot him down, let him down gently, or encourage him.
Well, I don't want to break his heart, that's for sure.
Okay, so shoot him down is off the table.
Um, I don't know. I suppose I'll have to think about it. I haven't even considered something seriously for, God, decades, of course.
Mm-hmm. I
I
understand.
I live a quiet life. I make my own money. I don't need a
Mm-hmm.
man in my life.
Well, you don't need a man to support you. There are other things for which a man might be nice.
Pearl Olsen, I am shocked by you.
Oh, you shouldn't be shocked by anything coming from me. You should know better.
That's true, I suppose. Oh my goodness. I just don't know what to do. He's so lovely and so young.
Yes,
I mean,
well,
he's not even housebroken.
sometimes what a young man needs is a more experienced hand to help guide him in the ways of the world.
Oh my goodness. I
It might be very refreshing for you.
I appreciate your feedback, but I'm feeling like maybe we should stop talking about it now because I'm
Okay,
feeling quite embarrassed.
you're getting a little flushed there, so yes, we'll talk about sugar cookies.
Right. Chocolate sugar cookies
Yes,
with sparkle.
yes. Now there's quite an array of good sparkly sanding sugars at the little bake shop down on Maple. So
I've been there. They have a cookie that has something in the middle of it. It's so lovely.
oh, you
What
mean
is it?
the is it coffee cream ones?
No. They're
Oh,
vanilla, like it's like frosting, but it's not quite as sugary. It's like puffy. Oh,
yes. Okay, yes.
what are they called?
That is it's a type of buttercream. It's an Italian buttercream as opposed to an American buttercream, which is usually a little less sugary, a little fluffier. I
Do
can
you
show
think
you
I
how to
have
make that.
do you think there's any hope of me making that?
I think so. You Everything in baking is just paying attention to details. weighing your ingredients, time and temperature, you pay attention to details, you're okay.
So it's like a heist.
Yeah.
Okay, I think I might be able to do that.
Good.
I'm feeling very confident about cookies and nothing else.
It's marvelous what a boost to one's confidence a good cookie can be.
Chocolate cookie. I just love chocolate.
And we can close out that scene. This chat. Oh my god, I love chat.
This is
Okay.
the kind of advice you're always going to get from Pearl.
Yes. It's like, go get some, honey. All right. Okay. So condition.
Best advice.
I don't know. Can you feel like you can release poem from Buck, Cynthia?
Or do you want to keep it?
I'm gonna keep it for now,
Okay. Sorry.
but I'm not gonna tell anybody that I kept it.
Okay, it's fine. It's good. Okay. So Pearl, since it was your cozy activity, then you can create a clue for this mystery. And again, if you don't quite have like a handle on like, where you found it or what it is, then you can just TBD it by
Yeah, that's what I'm
by
going to
Pearl.
do.
Yeah, TBD by Pearl. And then like, as we get closer to the theorized move, then you can go ahead and then figure out what you want to say, like what you want it to be. Again, not conclusively solving the mystery. It's all good. Okay. All right. So yeah, I mean, I think, you have your cozy moves and then you go to bed and then you wake up you get a message from Sheriff Dalrymple, and he just kind of like, lets you know grumpily that it's all clear on set now and people are welcome to come back and you can continue the show. You can continue filming the show. And you can almost hear in his voice about the side eye that he's giving you about, it's like, don't call attention to yourselves. And yeah, so yeah, you're welcome to go. Excuse me. Back on set. And Scott Lamb's there and Melanie's there. And then the remaining judge, Jane, is looking a little, she's less put together than usual, but she's doing okay. Like she's being stoic as expected. And then we have Sue and Timothy, who are just, like doing the milling about. They have worried looks on their faces. And then a new person is talking with Heath, the producer, and Buck, the cameraman. And it seems to be Donna Riviera, Paul Riviera's wife, who had come on to the set, yesterday and was discussing things. And she's looking quite harried. I mean, she was already excitable anyway when she burst out onto the set. However, like, this morning she looks in a different leopard print and her makeup is somewhat askew, but piled on as usual. And yeah, if you remember that, like, the show, The Real Housewives of Liverpool, yes, then she's by and large over the top. And she's just kind of gesticulating to them as you guys, get to your stations and get ready for the day. And then the producer's kind of hushing her down and all this kind of stuff. And then like, asking her to go to the side and just wait. And he will indicate that it's time for you all to get into places. do the attention thing as Jane and Timothy and Sue will come in like they normally do, and they're looking a little nervous, but like between Sue and Timothy, they do the usual spiel of, well, it looks like Paul's under the weather, but we will carry on. And then the project for today will be biscuits. Next round. So, and that's usually the shape that they're in, but we will excuse any kind of deviation from the usual shape. And so, they kind of rib each other about it. And then you must have, maybe they give you a little bit more parameters for it, but it's biscuits, like whatever you guys conceive of the actual bake. And then they will do it's like, on your mark and bake. All right. And then you get to work. So this round works exactly the same like the pie round. So we will ask you to describe what sort of biscuit you're making. Like, say you're going to be making like, you have to have 12 biscuits ready for the judges or judge. And then I will ask another player if they think that your biscuit is either a triumph or rather disappointing. And then we will each describe, it's like in what detail, like how it is that particular thing. Okay. So I'm gonna start making marks here because it's like I forgot to do a score sheet last time. So Pearl, Cynthia, and Mazi. Okay, so Pearl got triumph, Cynthia got triumph last time, and Mazi got disappointing. Sorry. Okay, now biscuits. All right. So because, of course, because you have baking already, then I'm pretty sure yours is a triumph, Pearl. But I'm gonna go to another Maven and then start with them. So do we think, let's see, Mazi, do we think that Cynthia's biscuit, oh, hold on a second. Sorry. Rewind. All right. So what are you making? Right. So this is the part of the show where the cameraman goes around and maybe maybe you hear the producer a little bit now, since the depending on what Sue and Timothy are doing, like they're going around to each of you and like kind of asking you what you're making and such. They are starting with like Melanie and Scott now, and then like just kind of finding out what they're doing. While they're doing that, what are each of you making for your biscuit, for your individual biscuit?
Well, I am fusing British and American influences.
Mhm.
There's a classic British biscuit, the Jammy Dodger.
Love Jammy Dodgers.
2 layers, jam in the middle, but I am making it a peanut butter and Jammy Dodger. Peanut butter cookies, raspberry preserves in the middle, and I'm spiking those raspberry preserves with just a bit of Chambord.
Indeed. Triumph. Damn. All right. Coming back to you later. Cynthia, what are you making?
I am making.
Are you wait, are you making it? Are you having?
I'm making it. I'm making it. I'm making it. It's a
Okay.
sparkly chocolate sandwich cookie.
Ooh.
I'm using dark chocolate and vanilla cream filling, like Pearl taught me. And then I'm going to put the sparkles on before it bakes. That way when it bakes, it sort of like crackles on the top.
Classic. Nice. And Mazi, what are you baking?
You're muted.
I am. Yeah, I said, and I'm muted. So I'm going to make almost like sort of a custard cream style. So it's like just the sugar cookies with like a cream stuff in the middle. I like did my homework. I'm like, all right, this is what they eat over there. I'm gonna do it. This is their thing. Except I'm gonna add I'm not as refined as Pearl. I'm gonna add like a little bit of orange, but instead of doing like orange extract or orange zest or anything fancy, I might add like a splash of orange juice to like the stuff to give it like an orange flavor. So it might be a little runny, the texture might be a little off, but it's got the flavor. Because cooking's not my thing. Let's be honest, guys. I know how to put cars together, not cookies.
I think you're more familiar with the different viscosity of the oil that goes into your hands than you are familiar with baking or
I'm here for the
cooking.
flavor, not the texture or the look.
Right. I mean, like, it looks weird or whatever, but you really taste nice.
It's like my car. It doesn't look great, but it goes fast.
There you go. All right. So, all right, I'm going to start asking Cynthia, is Mazi's biscuit a triumph or disappointment?
Part of me wants to say unmitigated triumph, but I'm pretty sure it's a disappointment.
Probably the orange juice killed it.
I mean, mixing cream and orange is probably not something you want to mess around with.
It's never gone bad for anybody before. What are
No,
you talking about?
clearly never in the history of anything has mixing citrus acids and dairy products ever gone wrong.
Never.
Exactly.
I will say that the judges are quick to say that while the presentation is lacking, the flavor is quite unique in a good way.
I think a detail about the cookie is that it's oozing. This is why
totally oozing.
It's just kind of off-putting because it's doing that weird.
It's
If
like
it could make
the
a
top
sound, it would be
sliding
like,
off. Yeah,
that would be the sound it makes. Sorry.
100%.
And I think maybe you were being very careful not to burn, and so I think maybe you underbaked very slightly.
Oh yeah.
So they don't have as good a texture as they would if you'd given it just a little longer.
Kind of fall aparty.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, a little
Yeah.
too soft.
A little wet.
Yeah.
Well, when your middle is oozing, it's kind of difficult to stay together. Oof.
Wet.
Unless it's firm enough, right? Sure.
Fork biscuits.
Oh my God. Can you imagine? Holy shit. I'm sorry. Okay. So Pearl, going over to Mazi's. I mean, not Mazi, Cynthia's concoction. Sorry. Do you think it was a triumph or a disappointment?
I think it was a triumph. You listened. You learned.
There's a picture in the chat. Oh my God.
I like the picture.
Some picture.
Can somebody put that into the Discord chat just in case I happen to pull it and just want to throw it in there like in something for posting? That'll be hilarious. Oh my God. Jesus. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, anyway, yes. But yeah, no, Cynthia took our baking time together very seriously and paid attention and got into the right mindset. Comparing it to a heist really made, I mean, that she finding that metaphor made it click for her. And so she did it all by herself.
I think though at this point though, because Caviar's so used to doing stuff for you, I think he's outside of the tent screen and you can see him like doing that solemn, like soulful paw at the screen. And he'll kind of like do the meow at you and just like, or should I be doing it like, ow? I don't know how it sounds. It sounds more like cranky.
I like the second one, like very serious, big boy meow. Meow. Like he's John Wayne. Meow.
Yes.
This lady
Meow.
calls me Caviar. My name's Whiskey. Meow.
Sorry. Okay.
Whiskey.
Okay, so Triumph. All right, so let's see. I think when you did the because I can actually picture this cookie from an actual episode of GBBO. When you create the cream, it's actually perfect. It's the right consistency. And then because you did the sparkle, the glitter, whatever, on the cookie, and then as it spread, it did that wonderful crackling type of effect, and it makes it look like, you know, a really cool looking meteorite, but not like lumpy. It's kind of got that just nice surface to it, just with the cracks, like just looking just so. It's like really good. I mean, the presentation is awesome.
I'm gonna say. So you said what flavor was the cream in the middle? Just a vanilla?
Vanilla.
Okay. So I'm gonna say between the sparkles and everything, like the presentation was perfect. The flavor though, like they're like, the presentation of this is so good, you know, we're hoping the flavor matches, and they take a bite and they're just like floored. Like you have the perfect amount of vanilla in the cream, the perfect amount of cocoa in the cookies. So neither is like overwhelming. It's not too sweet to like instant diabetes, you know. It's just that like cookie where you're like, it could go with a glass of milk, it could go with a tea, you know, you could eat it with coffee, you know, so it can pair with anything after a good meal.
I think also, I mean, I think we can chalk up the improvement, not only because, you know, Cynthia was listening about the heist part, but I think also that you were equating it with the tastes that you experience. Like, you know, when I think you have a really good penchant for remembering things, especially when it has to do with your tasting. Like you'll remember wine, you'll remember food, because it's like, you know, you'll remember flavors because of, well, something in like just it's something about it. It's just like yours is sensitive enough that your palate can pick it up and then almost like replicate it. It's like, so if you know this is how it tastes, you'll always know that this is how it's supposed to taste. And I think you kind of learned from the vanilla part of the lemon meringue, that you store bought. You were just like, oh, that's what vanilla is supposed to be. Okay, great, you know, or whatever. So worked out perfectly. We know pearls is a triumph, goodness knows. Now each of us give a detail of like how it's triumphant. Yay. Again, making PB and jammy Dodgers. I'm gonna say that even though she's not a fan of peanut butter, she'll actually like yours, because she's, as she puts it, it's like, it's quite subtle. It's not in your face as I expect store-bought and manufactured peanut butter to be. It actually is very natural, as if you had crushed the nuts yourself this morning. Quite good. Quite good.
I'm gonna say that Pearl is getting extra triumph because of her presentation of the peanut butter and jammy Dodgers, where she has set up sort of a picnic with the classic red checker blanket that's small, fits on the table, and it's got a lovely handmade basket, and the cookies are perfectly designed and arranged just to make it look like a beautiful summer afternoon picnic.
Can I add on to that
Yeah,
presentation a little?
yeah.
So because I was going to go with something with the presentation is because you're putting kind of an American twist on it, you actually made them almost look like little peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. So somehow you like maybe dusted the edges of the crust with a browned flour or something, just to give it that extra mwah. So they look like little mini sandwiches. Oh yeah, I'd eat the heck out of those.
Me too.
I think it's not like brown flour. I think it's like, like kind of like cinnamon dust. So this way on
There
the
we go.
edges,
Yeah.
it's brown, but I mean, like, it's something that would enhance the cookie taste, but
Yeah,
not
I'm not a
add too much
baker,
sweet.
so.
Okay, okay.
I'm like, because I thought cinnamon, but I'm like, I don't know if that would go with raspberry and
Oh, yeah,
peanut butter.
for
so,
sure, for
'cause-
sure. To be honest, it's like I will say that before I embarked upon like a lot of TTRPG online play, it's like this was like the love
jam.
before that. This was the obsession before TTRPGs again. Which is let me bake. I'm gonna stand for like 6 hours and like try baking a bunch of shit. Yeah. So yes.
Perfect.
Believe me, I know.
I grew up making so many Christmas cookies. We
Oh.
made sometimes several batches each of literally dozens of kinds of cookies.
Exactly.
So this is my comfort zone.
Yeah, exactly. No, it's so wonderful. Yep. Okay. And cooking is just as important. So, like give yourself a pat on the back. I mean, like I know some people that I eat out because I don't cook. I'm like, what? I think we covered everybody's details for their biscuits. And of course, I'm going to say, so I'm gonna open it up to you two. So Scott Lamb and Melanie have been working real hard. They had decent pies, like enough to, of course, like feel good about going to the next round. But who of the two, Scott and Melanie, who of the two did not have such a great biscuit for Jane to try? And what did they make?
I'm leaning towards Scott because I think he was snarky in the first round. But I can't remember what they made in the first round either. So that doesn't
Well,
help.
yeah, I mean, like it was decent enough to make it, but I think they were so busy with their own stuff and then you guys were busy with your own stuff that you weren't really paying attention. It's just like now it's like, everybody's kind of gotten to know each other, that you're like able to have a little bit more time, because cookies are a little bit less intensive than making pies and crust and all that kind
Yeah.
of stuff. So
Is it possible that Scott made actual American biscuits?
That's what I was leaning towards. But
sure. Yeah. I
I
mean,
mean,
Alright.
he's fond of bow ties, so he might be Southern. And he might be using his Mima's biscuit recipe, which is great, but it's not what they wanted.
It's not biscuits.
Also, I know where it would be very easy for him to go wrong with that.
Okay.
Even having a great recipe, if you overhandle the biscuit dough,
yes. Tough.
it
like
will
bricks.
wind up tough and nasty. And he may not have the right flour, because if he didn't realize it's necessary to have low protein flour for that Southern style of biscuit, they'd be too tough anyway. So if he didn't go to the trouble of getting some white lily or something
Biscuits
set up.
are hard.
Pardon?
Biscuits are hard.
They are. That's why I don't bake.
You know what? Like what I found, and I love the fact that we're talking bacon. What I found is like if you have like your own sourdough starter, and then you use like a sourdough starter to help your baked goods like biscuits or pancakes or anything like that, it's actually really good. And granted that maybe it's not like the true Southern, like, soft and kind of fluffy, but I mean, like, it's still a good biscuit where it has the capacity to be a little bit crisper and a little bit more like solid. And the texture's not bad. I mean, like, and the taste is awesome. I mean, like, but then again, it's like you got to just take care of your starter, and sometimes I let it go, and sometimes it's like it's way too much. So, but anyway, yeah, I think so each of you tell me a detail about his American biscuits that just, besides the possibility of the flour being a problem.
I really think he overhandled them. He worked the dough too much, and that just made him heavy and tough.
Yep.
Too much gluten development.
I think besides, because he handled them too much, he actually ended up getting flour all up his front side and into his face, his eyes and nose. And so he started sneezing a lot, and his hair has flour in it. And so he's just been like wiping and sneezing while he's baking. And the judges are highly aware that that has happened.
Yikes.
Oh, that's
Sorry.
um
I think he was so nervous because it was his grandma's recipe.
yeah.
And he
Wanted to
just
do
panicked.
right by me, Ma. It's hard.
He panicked by Mima, unfortunately.
So I'm gonna say he made a terrible miscalculation by trying to butter everybody's rolls before offering them. So maybe he was trying to hide some of his sneezing or whatever, but he basically like over slathered butter. So then they just became like chewy, messy. Same problem Mazi had. They're wet. Nobody wants a wet biscuit.
Soggy bottoms. No.
Soggy
Oh,
bottom
no.
biscuits.
Ugh,
Yeah.
gross.
So not
okay.
everybody likes a pound of butter on their biscuit.
Not everybody. No. Oh dear. All right. So yeah, Scott gets some really bad looks, and actually after the first bite, like Jane's doing like the long chew because
Ooh.
it's so bad, and she doesn't spit it out. I mean, she's quite she's quite poised in that manner, but she will give a sniff, and not a good sniff either. Okay. And then she'll move on to Melanie, who does fine. Let's just say that she does fine. And at this point, we're going to take a break. We're going to take a 10-minute break. And I want you guys to think about what you want to do for further investigation. Okay. Buck's been going around and then, filming everybody. And then in turn, as the interviews have been gone on, and then Timothy and Sue are just kind of like hovering over you all. And I think Buck's looking at you a little bit. Cynthia, as he's making his way around, maybe he'll zoom in just a little bit more on what you're doing. A
Girl is
little bit more on your
beaming.
face. Yeah. Biscuits are done. The biscuit round is finished. And yeah, I think Scott's looking a bit dejected out at the picnic table as you guys take your meal break. And you, of course, share your work amongst everyone and with the crew. I think I'm sorry to keep doing this to you, Luna. If you want me to stop, I will. But I think Buck will kind of he'll have the camera slung on his shoulder, and then he'll kind of reach for one of your cookies and kind of sidle next to you and then wink as he puts the cookie in his mouth, quite fetchingly, and then walks away. His nice bum moving well in his jeans. Anyway.
His nice biscuits.
Yes.
You okay over there?
I mean, because I can picture some of these people in my head, so it's hilarious. Okay.
Mhm.
And okay, so you can continue with investigations. The trailers are open for the most part, although you don't see. I mean, Sue and Timothy might be in their trailers. You don't know. And then Jane is of course chilling in the judge's tent, I'm sure, because it's left for her. Melanie keeps on looking at the tent like she wants to be going right back in there, even though she hasn't really had anything. And, y'all hadn't quite talked with her, but you can see that Donna's talking with the producer again, and then she kind of stalks off, looking like she's like trying to head over to the judge's tent. So, what would you like to do? You have a break before the last round of this final.
Personally, I'm torn between talking to one of our fellow contestants and trying to eavesdrop on what may be going on in the judge's tent. I think I'll go with talking to one of the contestants and toss up. I'll go with Melanie.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, she's again staring over at the tent, sitting in her seat, almost primly, like, her hands in her lap, and then just kind of like occasionally like dusting herself off. Before we engage in conversation, Mazi and Cynthia, what would you like to do?
I was gonna say, I was kind of interested in maybe trying to talk to Heath about
Okay.
what was going on.
Sure.
So I'd be, and I have a plan to do that. I don't know if
Okay.
you needed the plan or hold on the plan.
What does the plan involve?
So taking a couple of my cookies that are a mess, like hot mess cookies, and mushing them and trying to make little mini cake balls, and using that as like a, should I have presented it this way instead to like butter them up a little?
Oh, okay. Gotcha. All right. And then Cynthia, what would you like to do?
I think I'd like to do my best to eavesdrop on the late Paul's wife. Not that she's late, but he is.
Yes.
Donna.
I think you can do that first before Mazi gets to him with her cake balls. Like maybe like while she's doing that, she's, you're able to kind of do your little roundabout as you know how to do, and you are kind of easing off to the side of the tent where they can't see you, but you can kind of hear them. And yeah, let's do that in turn if you don't mind. So
Wait.
like we're gonna do Cynthia first, eavesdropping, and then Mazi with the cake balls, and then Pearl, you can be talking to Melanie, or you can try to engage Melanie. We'll see how this goes. All right.
I have a question.
Sure. What's up?
So Cynthia, are you trying to eavesdrop on the Heath and Donna conversation, or on the Donna and I thought you were gonna go after the Donna after she went into the judge's tent or whatever conversation.
I might later.
Okay.
But yeah, no, I want to hear
wanna
what
start with there.
she's getting after Heath about, because she's
Gotcha.
clearly been on his case all day.
Okay.
All right. So for this one, Cynthia, let's see if you still got it. Because I think you're used to doing some eavesdropping of your own, like whenever
Absolutely.
you've done some entertaining and such.
It's
So
a trick from my party days. I become almost absolutely invisible. People don't see me. I
right.
just slink around, and it's like I'm not even there. They just talk amongst themselves.
Exactly. That's the perfect hostess. Until she wants to get into the conversation. So I'm going to call this composure.
How do I roll for that?
I'm sorry, 2d6 plus 1, which is your
Plus
composure. Unless you want to use something in your personal quarters to give you advantage, which would be 3d6 and take the 2 highest.
No, I think I'll just roll it.
Okay, great.
Okay, I rolled 2d6. I got a 6 and a 5 plus 1.
12. Oh, hot damn. Remember how to play this game? 12 means that you get a void clue, which in Brindlewood Bay, there is a looming mystery behind the scenes as the murder mavens, discover all these murders happening in town. And so therefore this signals the beginning of the void mysteries, of the void mystery developing in play in the campaign. So I will owe you a void clue. Give me a second. Gotta write this down because then I have to gotta
Is
pull
it
it out.
Mozzie's cookie? Is that what's happening?
No. Oh, that would be perfect. No.
Haunted.
No. No. Okay. have our first void clue that I have to give you later. But what this means is you perfectly do your hostess thing. And even though there's not a crowd of people, you're still able to kind of not be noticed by Scott or, Melanie, who's looking at the tent. I mean, that's the funny part. She's looking at the tent, but she doesn't see you. So, or she doesn't care, like it's one of those things as well. But you sneak up on them and you hear that I'm not going to talk to myself. Okay. Just so you know, I think you hear like, a bit of an argument as you're nearing the tent, like you hear her strident tones and he's trying to calm her down and she's just getting more insistent about something. You can almost see him do his 3, 2, 1 thing going on with his fingers, even though he's not doing it, because he's trying to gesticulate and just kind of trying to wave her down. As you get closer, you hear her say something to him that sounds like, but Paul had gotten at least 10,000 pounds from every single appearance that he had. And he would always make sure that there was always a mention of, and then you can't quite hear what she says because it's like she starts going to scouse. But it involves like another exorbitant amount of money about it. And he's arguing with her through, that's impossible and incredibly and extortionate. We cannot honor that unreasonable contractual demand. And that is what you hear as your clue, an unreasonable contractual demand. And I'm going to post that into the clues. She tries to argue with him a little bit more, and it's like, shush. We cannot discuss this. Your husband is now dead. So any contracts with him are null and unfortunately void. And then you can hear him kind of spin off and go into another direction, and you hear a stomp and a as she moves into another direction outside of the tent. Let's go to Mazi. I think by this time you finished your cake balls.
Yep.
And you see like Heath like stride really angrily outside of the tent, and like looks like he's headed towards the trailers, but there's probably like crew tents or like crew trucks around. So he's probably heading in that direction. Do you follow?
Yeah, I'm actually going to follow just a bit behind him.
Oh, okay.
Just to see where he's kind of going first. Oh, you froze for a second.
Did I?
Yeah, I didn't know if you said for me anyways, you froze.
Okay, no, I'm here.
Okay. Yeah, you went on my screen. Yeah, so I'll follow, just at a distance, kind of almost like I'm just taking in the scenery. I'm carrying like this little plate that has maybe like 4 or 5 little bite-size balls I made of the cookie variety.
Sure.
And just kind of scoping where he's going first until I deduce that part. Once he's either gone into a trailer or whatever, then I'll approach.
Yeah, I think he goes into the judge's tent.
Okay. So yeah, I will I'll wait a second so I'm not like too close behind.
Mm-hmm.
And then, pop in, like kind of do the like poke my head like as if I'm looking to see if anybody's here. Is it just him?
No, I think Jane is here. I mean, she's nursing a cup of tea. Okay.
Yeah. I'm a nurse. So I will just Jane, lovely, and Heath. I took some of that constructive criticism you offered on my biscuits, and I'll like kind of walk over and set the plate down, and I'm not even gonna like wait for them to say like have a seat or anything. I'm gonna pull up one of the chairs, because I'm assuming there's 3 chairs, and sit down, and I'm like I went ahead and I kind of like did like a cookie ball twist So here, if you guys would like to try and give me some feedback. So I'm just gonna try to, get them to relax a little and sample my cookies,
Okay.
cookie balls.
It just sounds so horrible, but I know they exist. I mean,
Yeah.
basically, like they're that fine line between like the cookie balls and
Mhm.
cake pops. I mean, like
Yeah.
because that's essentially what they are. All
Yep.
they need is like that weird like
The white
drip
chocolate stuff on the outside.
icing.
sort
Yeah,
of.
yeah.
Yeah.
Which is it's a completely different consistency, and it's kind of why I hate cake pops because
Yeah, I don't like 'em.
of like how they do them. Go ahead and roll, but give me a second. I want to see like what you could roll on. I'll let you decide. Do you want to say composure or presence?
I feel like it's more presence because I'm just trying to. I guess presence is more like your charisma-y type, right?
Yeah, charisma. Yeah,
Ish.
that thing.
So yeah, and I feel like I'd be trying to do that, just trying to put them at ease. So maybe they'll be a
Sure.
little bit more forthcoming with any future questions I might have.
Ooh, okay.
Kind of regarding, because that's where I would end up leading into is the sort of like, how's the investigation going? Have you guys heard anything more? And then more pointedly to Heath, is there an intention to almost like replace Paul
Oh, wow.
for the last round?
Oh, wow. Yeah, so go ahead and do you want to use anything from your cozy little place? Let me ask you that.
Oh, I forgot about those things. Let me see.
And you don't have to. I mean, I'm just offering. Because we always tend to forget that, like whether it be like the between, whether it be Brindlewood Bay, sometimes people forget you have the personal quarters items if you really want to help you with your role.
I'm not feeling like any of these would help me, so I will
No
say I'm
problem.
not going to use them.
Okay, so roll 2d6 plus your modifier for what did you say? Pressure.
I was thinking
presence?
presence, yeah,
Okay.
even though it's not my best one.
Play it. Yep. Go ahead.
Ooh, I would like to take a crown so I don't fail because I rolled
Why?
a 4 total.
Jesus Christmas. Okay. Fabulous. Although
Although a fail would be great, but
fail would be very dramatic, I'm sure.
wow. Okay, you know what? Let's go with the fail.
Well, okay, so hold on a second. Hold on. Let me just look at the move for half a mo. So let's see. Da-da. So when you meddle, all
Mhm.
right.
I'm meddling.
Okay, it doesn't say. It's only when it's like a day move or a night move that they really like say what could go wrong.
Things are bad.
Things
Oh,
can
okay.
be bad. So I'm not gonna
So it's not
narrate.
like I'm gonna die. It's just like
Well, actually, you know what? I mean, I do remember that even on an investigation move, it's like, Jason would show us like, here's the problem if you miss.
Mhm.
So if you don't mind, I'm going to show
Sure.
you how you miss.
Okay.
So you offer the cake balls, and it's like, they're kind of like, they're humoring you. They're kind of just looking at you and nodding. And then, well, I mean, again, Jane is nursing some tea, and I think Heath just kind of sits down next to her. And as you're trying to talk to them and ask for feedback, I think they absentmindedly will take one of the cake balls and they'll start to nibble on them. But then something happens where Jane nibbles on the cake ball and then takes a swig of her tea, and then suddenly and then she's grasping at Heath, and then falls over.
Oh, do I want to kill a judge? Is what you're saying? Is what you're asking me?
I'm not
giving
asking
me-
you. I'm just telling you this is what happens on a miss. Or okay, so
Or I take a crown, right?
or
it's not as bad.
or okay, and this is another move that I really love in this game. Hold on, let me see if I can pull it up. Where is it? I know it's here. Oh my gosh, it's not here. Oh God, what? Oh, that's hilarious. Okay, so it's not on here for some reason, unless I'm missing it. Anyway, we're just gonna do it because it's like I'm gonna find it in the book. So give me a minute, but I'll kind of try to describe it. In Brindlewood Bay, there is a convention where on a miss, you can do cut to commercial,
Yes.
but you can only do it once per session. So,
Yeah.
it's a very powerful trick because when you do cut to commercial and you do it successfully, then you automatically get I think it's 10 plus. Oh my gosh. I cannot believe I did not pull up the rules ahead of time, but yes, I can because this is me. We're talking about me. Give me a second. Sorry, guys. This is where we edit.
I'm totally a fan of the commercials.
Yes, commercials are hilarious. Especially when anybody else does them. It's wonderful. Holy crap.
Is it Holy Spirits last time?
Yes.
6.66 alcohol.
Okay. Oh my God.
that
That is so weird. It's like it's not in the reference sheet. That's weird. I mean,
Oh.
maybe they're not like pulled for like, full out because it's a very powerful move for the mavens to be able to do once a session. So give me a second. I'm just going to do this real quick. Cut to commercial. Cut to commercial. Here we go. This is a very special keeper reaction, one that pays homage to the television shows that inspired the game and suggests that Brindlewood Bay is in itself a television show. So when a maven undertakes a perilous or dramatic action that provokes a die roll, well, you didn't quite do that, but it's fine. I mean, like, we're just going to play this out because it's fun. And that die roll is a miss. You can say, let's cut to commercial before the outcome is narrated. Well, I mean, I did it anyway. Okay, so again, I'm breaking a lot of rules.
You're breaking all the
We know
rules.
this.
We
Breaking
can
all the
always
rules.
just cut out what you said before.
Right. Like, you don't know about that, but okay. So you have a short prompt, then you may narrate a commercial inspired by said prompt. If you do so, then you return to the regular scene and allow play to continue as if they had rolled a 10 or 11. Yeah.
Okay.
So you do succeed. Okay. So, but
are you guys cool with me doing the cut to commercial, or do you want me to kill Jane?
or use a crown?
Commercial sounds good.
I like the commercial. But that's because I had a lot of fun with it last time we did a commercial.
Okay. Okay, so your commercial prompt, and if you want a few minutes, and I will go over to Pearl, and then you can figure it out. Your prompt is Sugarama breakfast cereal featuring Shuggy the sugarcane.
Sugarama breakfast
cereal
featuring
Shuggy the sugarcane.
Shuggy
the sugarcane.
Shuggy the sugarcane.
Which kind of makes sense because I mean, like, we're doing like a bake-off like kind of thing. So I mean, like cereal commercial, sure, why not? So yeah, I'll give you a few minutes while I go to Pearl. Pearl, you're going to go over and talk to Melanie. So we go back a few minutes and then we're going to have you speak to Melanie, who again is just listlessly or like, very intensely looking at the tent. Like she wants to be there already, even though break's like barely over or like not even close to being over. Okay. So, let's see.
Have I observed whether she's a coffee drinker, tea drinker, whatever from the craft services table?
Okay, I'm going to say that Melanie, and here's some information about her, okay? So you notice that she's seemingly frazzled and actually very intense, and you know this because you know that Melanie has lived in Brindlewood Bay all her life and learned to bake from her parents, who used to own the Sweet Sensations Bakery before it went out of business. So... and there's a very specific reason why it went out of business. Yeah, let me have you figure out how you want to approach her first. I'm going to say you do know the reason why it closed. It's not good. Let's put it that way.
Well, I'm going to get a hot beverage. 2 hot beverages, one for myself, one for her. I'm drinking coffee. Get her whatever she's drinking.
Yep.
And come over and sort of plop down beside her in a Hey, how you doing? Way and hand her the cup.
She takes it from you absently. And she just kind of like, again, still stares off, looking at the tent. And she says, not talking to you, but you can hear her. I love the Jolly Good Baking Show. And I'm just so honored to be here.
Yeah.
I mean, I baked all my life. My parents. I loved, learning how to do some of those recipes that they taught me in the bakery. Sweet sensations, they called it. It was really nice.
Yeah. Yeah, this is a really special thing for you.
I mean, it's true. My parents' bakery went out of business when Paul's bakery chain opened a location in Brindlewood Bay, but I can't hold that against him. I mean, he's dead.
Yeah. Yeah. Don't want to speak ill of the dead. Well, I completely understand about wanting to honor somebody's legacy. Uh, I don't know if I ever told you this, but my family had a restaurant. Just little little coffee shop. And nothing fancy, but we worked hard and it was a good business. And I didn't keep up their legacy. I met Bob, my late husband, and I moved away to be with him. I moved away from our hometown. I didn't really go back. And later I found out that it had gone under, and that really hurt. Because maybe if I'd stayed, I could have done something. It was not one of those, outside pressure things. Maybe I could have saved it. But Bob told me that the importance of family legacy isn't necessarily in the concrete things, the business or the house or, the heirlooms, any of that stuff. It's what you learn from it, and it's the memories you made, and it's how it brought the family together. And you being here is the most perfect way of honoring that I can think of.
She turns to look at you. And this is where I'm going to ask you to do the roll to determine what she does after she looks at you. So go ahead and make the roll with, I'm gonna say presence, because I mean, again, you're talking to her and you're trying to engage her like on a personal level. So yeah, go ahead and roll with presence. 2d6 plus whatever you got.
1.
1.
And I got a 7, so I just barely.
Okay. I mean, that's good. All right. So mixed result. Yeah, I think she turns to you and she's, yeah, I had good memories for sure. I don't know. Should I speak ill of the dead? Should I just let it go?
Well,
Does it matter?
there's nobody here but us right now. You're not on camera. You're not speaking to anybody to whom Paul was close. If you want to vent to me, that's okay. I'm here to listen. And maybe if you vent now, you'll feel less stressed out when you have to be in front of other people.
maybe you're right, I guess. Can I show you something?
Absolutely.
And then she kind of like will rise, take another absent-minded drink of her coffee cup, and then she will kind of like wave you along with her and kind of lead you to the bins that are around the back of the tent. And then she'll kind of like swing around and turn to you and then just kind of have this tight-lipped look of anger on her face. I mean, she's always frazzled, but I mean, like, this is just the first time that you've seen like kind of like if it was palpable, you would feel it, right?
Right.
And she just says, "No, you know what? I will speak ill of the dead. He was a complete shit. Taking my family's business down, opening up just yet another chain somewhere that didn't need it because we had our own stuff. We had our own local wares that was doing just fine without him. But I would never do this." And what she shows you in the bin is a rolling pin that looks like it's flecked with blood. Nobody made red velvet cookies today. Let's put it that way. So, a rolling pin flecked with blood. Let me go ahead and copy paste that into the
my.
doohickey.
Oh my goodness. That's alarming. I mean, well, obviously it's alarming. But
I mean, do you think I should say something? I mean, I know it's not my rolling pin,
yeah,
and
it's
don't think
not
it's yours.
mine. No, mine's at my station. I was using it a little while ago. So, well,
You know what? I think this rolling pin, it's from Mazi's station.
huh. I sorry, I'm just reacting to the gesticulating happening.
That is the complication.
Yes.
Sorry. So basically, your complication is Mazi is now implicated. Whoops.
Okay. Sorry, Mazi. Oh, yes, your cookies are to die for.
Jesus, the pun's going on.
Okay.
Mm.
Well, I think why don't we keep this quiet for now and we can observe, and then we don't want to spook anybody into doing anything rash because that could be dangerous. So if you like, I can keep you out of this entirely.
Uh-huh.
And after filming is all done, I can tell the sheriff, and then you don't have to come into it at all. Does that sound good?
That sounds pretty good. I mean, yeah. If you don't mind, I mean,
Yeah,
I have to
that's
think of.
fine with
We
me.
have to think of baking. We have to think of finishing this off, and
Yeah, we can't let
and-
ourselves get too distracted.
Nope.
This is too big, too important an opportunity.
Exactly. All right. And we will cut to the commercial with Shuggy the sugar cane. Tell us about Sugarama.
Sorry, had to unmute. Okay, so it's the screen does the little like it's dark, and you see the faint blinking of like a clock at like some stupid hour, like 4 a.m. And you see, next scene is little kid, maybe 5, 6 shuffling down the hallway, dragging a teddy bear. They've got like one arm's rolled up, they've hair's a hot mess. And the voice comes over. It's early. You want that boost. It's too early to function. So you reach for the breakfast cereal, and it shows the little kid's hand reaching in to see, grabbing the box of Sugarama to dump into that bowl. And it's, the cereal pouring into it, which is, by the way, shaped almost like Kraft macaroni cheese noodles, like just those straight stick noodles. And it's making like the typical cereal noise. That jingle jangle as a little crunchy sweet bits fill your bowl, and then you put that splash of milk on it. It's going to be a great day. Then you see the kid, sleepy, taking a bite, and then all of a sudden he goes, and his eyes like bug out Roger Rabbit style, and then boom, he basically hulks out into Shuggy the Sugarcane, which is an animated sugarcane with a giant purple mohawk. And he's like, it's gonna be a great day, hops on a skateboard and like exit the scene. Then you hear kind of quietly, and at the bottom there's like the little text, and it says disclaimer, sugarcane has estimated that 73% sugar compared to Honey Smacks, which has 56, and 1 bowl of Sugarama is equivalent to 4 cups of Death Wish coffee. Please eat responsibly. Because we all know kids' cereal is jazzed.
So good. 10, 11, absolutely. So you get a clue. Oh, I think as we come back from commercial, oh Lord, let me see what looks appropriate after that. Holy shit. Oh,
Caffeine and sugar. What more could you want?
That should be the tagline leading into the next commercial for Death Wish Coffee. It's great. All right, great. Let's see. So you were talking with Jane and Heath.
Right.
What happened to Jane did not happen, so that's cool. Oh my God, there's just so much funny shit in here. It's hilarious. And then there's some stuff that's like, whoa.
That changes the whole tone.
Yeah, that really does. Yeah, I think they're absentmindedly trying your cake balls and then like kind of giving you some constructive feedback on them. And in a weird way, well, because between what Jane is nursing in her cup and what Heath had just, come from talking with Donna, I think they're kind of like a little distracted. And so they start talking about things that are going to be coming up. And they kind of lose track of that you're there and just like nodding away or maybe looking, still as a statue, being the nice little old lady that you are. And sure, I understand. Oh, Apple Watch. Oh goodness. But they talk about the invitation to the cast and crew of the Jolly Good Baking Show to Buckingham Palace coming up. But they talk about how I can't believe that name was missing. They didn't invite them. What do you mean? Don't know if there's something behind the scenes that we don't know about. And they were about to talk about the name, or Jane was, and then she remembers that you're sitting right there. It's like, I think we should continue this conversation later. And thank you so much for these, what did you call them? Cake balls?
Cookie balls.
Cookie balls. Oh, is this American? Is this something that
Yes, of course.
Ah,
Do you not have cookie balls over in?
I don't think so. No. Well, they're not cookie balls per se, but I mean, like sometimes we have like
Skip balls.
No,
like basketball.
No, but they do resemble in a small way. They do resemble something like something like a boiled pudding, Yes, pudding, and it's steamed, and it's got this consistent spongy consistency, I think, resembling this. Yours has a bit of a nice taste. It's a very, very unique, but keep trying, absolutely. And then she will put the rest of the cake ball down, and then she will kind of like give the eye to Heath to continue their conversation elsewhere. So
Okay.
yeah, that's what you find out. I'm going to post this as soon as I copy it into the clues.
For reference, I do not like those bread pudding things. My mom loves that stuff. I do not. It's a texture thing.
Yeah. No, I
Yeah,
get it.
Yeah.
I mean,
So when you say that, I'm like, oh.
it depends, because I mean, like, I've actually made banana bread pudding, and I'm not a bread pudding person either. But when I make it, it's like I like it to toast it enough and bake it enough that it has those crisp edges,
Mm-hmm.
So it's almost like Yorkshire pudding.
Not just wet.
Get some
It's
contrast in
not
there.
wet. Exactly. I'm like, I need to have that texture. I can't just have it like all
Squidgy.
squidgy. No. Yeah.
Squidgy.
Love it. Okay. So let's take a looky. Okay, so you got the clue 2 after you did cut to the commercial. I like putting this stuff down. All right, great. Okay, so let's look at how much you got so far. So you now have 8 clues on a 7 complexity. So we can, if you want, you can try to do another round of investigation, or if you want to run with these 8 clues with a theory. Now, remember, the way it works is you want to figure out a theory, freewheeling discussion out of character that includes me, that I can, kind of help the conversation. And you want to create a solution, like like who did it, from the clues that are here. You don't have to use all the clues, and you only have to use a minimum of 4 clues to be able to answer the question, who did it? But for every clue that you can explain into the theory, that works against the complexity. And then if you use all 8 clues, that gives you a +1 on the eventual roll. Okay, so it would be a 2d6 roll for theorize to see if you're right once you have a theory. So do you feel ready? Like, do you want another break to think about it for a little bit, or do you want to just kind of see if you can answer the question?
I kind of want to do some more investigating. Maybe I'm gun shy because out of 2 previous mysteries with most of this cast, we had multiple failures on theorize.
We're great
And-
at failing. I don't know what you're talking about.
Unfortunately, this is not one of those games where you can, like, what is it?
Fail forward.
Fail forward, right? It doesn't give you experience if you fail, unfortunately.
We're the best at failing, okay? Top-notch failure coming out.
Top-notch failure.
I mean,
So I kind of feel the need of a safety margin.
I hear you. I hear you. And I will say, and maybe it's me because I'm the one keeping, but my Friday crew has the same problem doing the between. It's like they have beautiful theories, and then most of the time they mess up the roll. Now, I have confirmed, and I believe it is in the rules that if you flub the roll and it's a miss, okay, if it's a miss, you can all decide to use a crown, like you each pick a crown to narrate, and then that as a whole will bump up the tier of the roll one, like up one. So instead of being a miss, it'll be a mixed result, which is a lot better than missing, as we well know.
In that instance, yes.
In that instance, for sure. So yeah, you kind of have a little tiny safety net, but big
Not
one.
enough.
Not enough. Okay, no, that's fine. So if you want to continue on with investigations, that's perfectly
Well,
fine.
and we could do round 3 of baking.
Yes, you
right?
still have round 3 of baking for sure. But you want to basically get whatever you want to get to do for investigation before the last round.
Okay.
or before
okay.
before the conclusion. So how about this? So we can do the round of the last round. We can do cakes. Cakes is the last round, and then they have to go and do some deliberation first, and then that's your opportunity to do the theorize, or like, excuse me, to do the investigation and theorize. Or we can say that there's still a little bit more time and you can investigate before the next round. And then when you theorize after that, then you can like do the resolve when they announce the winner, or before they, whatever, you know what I mean? Like, it's kind of like how, in what order do you think is the most plausible? I mean, me personally, I think it's the investigate first while you can, and then go into
Baking mode.
baking mode, baking your cake
Mhm.
as your final. So,
I'm on
yeah.
board with that.
All right, great. All right. So after our wonderful pie crust conversation, we will resume. All right. So what does each one of you want to do for further investigation? We'll do this one more round, and then we're going to finish. We are going to do the final round of GBBBO.
I
Mazi, what do you want to do?
think I want to try. What is the situation around where Donna originally, like, does she have her own trailer, or was she staying in Paul's trailer?
They pulled up a separate trailer for her. I think what they did was, when they took away the body, they also took the trailer away, purportedly to like scour it for clues. But I don't know, Sheriff Dalrymple, the whole thing. So his trailer's gone, but then Donna now has hers pulled up.
If I know where she is, which is not in her trailer, I would like to try to investigate her trailer. If I would I be able to spot that she's not in her trailer, basically, and try to like slip in and poke around?
Yes, because I think on your way to said trailer, I think you're going to see, in the shadow of, let's just say, one of the crew tents and the presenters trailers, I think you're going to see what looks like a familiar silhouette, as he's being, like, I guess, bent down in a strange way. Like, you can see what looks like female arms, like, around his big broad shoulders, and he looks like he's trying to get away, but not quite trying to get away. And as you're passing,
Oh my.
maybe you're like being stealthy or what have you, or you just kind of like make your way around without being seen. I think you can see, it's like, or hear that, you hear Buck's voice. It's like, no, not here. I mean, it's fun and everything, but I mean, like, no, I mean, your husband just died.
Part of me wants to like get Cynthia on the horn. Like, Cynthia.
Sorry. Great.
You're boo. You're boo. But yeah, I would not try to stop that. Like, mental note, slick past and into her trailer if she's preoccupied.
Preoccupied at the moment. I think you're gonna actually find that it's open, like, like, she's not far from it, let's put it that way. Okay, so you get in, you slip in, as you sneakily do. And how are you investigating? Let me ask you that.
I know it's probably not going to have all her stuff in it.
Oh, let's do it. Paint the scene first. Sorry. I mean, like, I just want to make sure that I do this. Okay. So you can tell from her wardrobe that she really loves leopard print. Because it's usually leopard prints all day, every day, usually different, of course, from day to day. What in this trailer indicates other interests besides fashionably dressing in spotted cats?
Mhm. Um, you know what? I'm gonna say that she's got one of those dressing mirrors, I'm picturing it's like one of those TV style tents or trailers that they have for the stars.
Yeah.
So she's got one of those like dressing tables with the lights and the mirrors.
Mm-hmm.
And her previous one may have had more on it, but this one, since she's recently relocated, she only managed to grab one clipping of a picture. It looks like it's from a magazine,
Mm-hmm.
and it's like a bodybuilder, like big, one of the ripped in like the typical bodybuilder poses.
Mm-hmm.
So she has some interest in either bodybuilders, bodybuilding, fake tans. There's choices there.
Mhm.
Choices.
Right. Okay.
I think there's some magazines on a table. They're the kind of tabloidy kind of celebrity rag sort of things. But tucked underneath them, not quite visible, but you can see the corner of the cover, is a book of Spanish poetry, of all things. Go figure.
I'm going to say that while in general the trailer is very tidy, she has a vanity area with the mirror, right? And strewn is the wrong word. Arranged around the table under the mirror are high-end, extremely high-end skincare devices. So like a micro needler and a light shoots light lasers at your skin that make you look younger, and some of those jade rolling pins for your face, and just little gadgets that look so they're all sleek and various leopard print skins on them, and everything is plugged in, not a speck of dust on any of it. All very well maintained and frequently used.
And let's see. Okay, so I'm gonna have you roll for looking through this however you want to excuse me, do so.
Mhm.
Yeah, how would you like to approach this?
So I'm going to, I want to look, I think I want to look for keeping in mind some of the items that might have been on those receipts. See if I can draw any connect any of the dots, basically.
Okay.
So anything that jumps out that may have come from one of those receipts I had or saw.
I'm gonna say reason, because I mean you've thought about like what possibly could be here, so definitely with reason.
There's obviously not going to be a car here in her trailer.
Yes.
Ooh. Okay, so 7 plus 1, so 8 total. It's not a total fail.
It's not a total fail. I'll get back to you on that, like as you're rummaging around her stuff. Cynthia, what would you like to be doing?
I was curious to know if, even though he got eliminated, Scott Lamb was still on set, since there's technically a murder investigation ongoing.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
For sure.
I would like to track down no, you know what? Actually, I'm changing my mind in the middle of my sentence. I want to know where Sheriff Dalrymple is.
I think he's back in town, like doing the investigation thing with the trailer. Like he's I mean, he and
Not on
maybe
set.
two no, Maybe
Okay.
he and two deputies are kind of like combing the trailer for clues and such, and then like, you know, putting the body somewhere to, you know, have some forensic dude like, you know, take a look and such. So he's not on set right now. No.
Okay. In that case, I am gonna try and track down Scott Lamb and see if he has an alibi for the time of the murder.
Okay. I mean, and again, you're not really eliminated yet, but I mean, he's kind of in the doghouse right now. He's like probably the lowest scoring of all of you at the moment. Even Mazi, who like has had some disappointments.
She's got great energy, though. Okay, we love her.
Yes. But I mean, like, yeah, Scott really wowed up like the biscuit challenge per se. All right, so yeah, I think you can track down Scott in. Let me see. Hold on. Yeah, I think after dejectedly like trying other people's stuff and then admitting that they were really good, he slinks off to the. I think it's like kind of like a tent, like just a plainer tent than the other things, like, you know, just kind of as a lounge area for you all, like in between rounds and such. Before you go home. Yeah, before you go home for the evening. So I'm gonna say that's where he is, and he's kind of just flipping listlessly through channels of like the different cable shows that are available in the area.
Okay, I'm gonna find him there, and I am going to um, have Caviar with me at all times, of course,
Mhm.
and I'm going to sort of sidle up next to him and sit down next to him and say, "So, that was a tough round, wasn't it? Did
He's
you, was that recipe one that you had tried before?"
ooh, he's first he was kind of like not looking at you and just continuing to do the cable channel thing, but now he is like, as soon as you said it's like you know, an old recipe or family or whatever, he winces. It's like "Ugh." And he kind of bites one of his knuckles or something like that. um yeah, I'm gonna say you need to roll to see if he responds to you better than he's starting out.
Okay.
And because you're hitting a nerve, like, you know, you know, even before your roll, I'm gonna say I'm gonna put you on with a condition, like, you know, hit a nerve.
Okay.
And this will put you at disadvantage.
Oh no. So how do I roll that?
Just go ahead and roll 3d6 and then see what you get, and you would take the two lowest and then add a whatever modifier. I think in this case, of course, presence
Yeah,
for
I have
this.
a 0 presence. Shocking, I know. I have 0 presence. I rolled 3d6. I got a 6, a 4, and a 3. So the two lowest together make 7.
Okay, still good. All right. Mixed results. Okay, so we'll get back to you in a second with a clue and a complication. All right. And then Pearl, how are you investigating?
Do the presenters, do Sue and Timothy have their own tent, or do they have, I mean, or do they have their own trailer?
Their own trailers.
Okay.
But you might actually find them together in one of them because they're trying to distract themselves from the solemnity of what's been happening, of course, because of the body and such, to like play, I don't know, like they're playing a video game or something like that.
Okay. Well, I'm going to tap very gently on the trailer door
Mhm.
and wait for a response.
all you hear is pretty much just like, no, you shot me in the back. What the did you mean to do that for? It's like, and then you can kind of hear Timothy's murmurs, like, very softly. It's like, I didn't shoot you, love. That's friendly fire.
Tap tap, excuse me, I say, pushing the door open a bit.
Okay. But their eyes are glazed over, and they're just like alternately yelling or calmly like ribbing each other about. It's like, no, mate. It's like, you gotta chase that one. And yeah, so they're just involved in their game. They're not quite. It's like, can we help you? Very distractedly saying, can we help you?
I just thought that that this might be a good home for the rest of my jammy dodgers.
And
I
they
made a
perk up
larger
at that.
I made a larger batch than just the dozen for presentation because I wanted to be able to pick and choose if some of them weren't quite perfect.
You're quite lovely. And then Timothy will smash that pause button and then come over and then take that basket from you. sit. It's like,
Thank
do you play?
I never have. I'm happy to watch you play. Though if you want to teach me, I'm open to learning.
All right. So in interest of time, it's like,
right.
Just tell me how you would like to engage them as they take their paws to jammy dodger their face. Or PB and jammy dodger their face.
I am trying to find out from them kind of how they're feeling about the show continuing, or do they think it's not going to continue, and are they happy to go back to other things they were doing, or was this, in both cases I'm trying to kind of feel out whether they're taking the current situation as good for them or bad for them.
Sure.
And keeping a very close eye on how truthful I think their answers are.
Oh, sure. Okay, so go ahead and roll. Yeah, roll.
Okay, and is this presence or?
I would say presence, yeah, because you're drawing them out, and especially, I'm sorry to make this very opposite, but I mean, I'm going to say you can do this with advantage because your jammy dodgers are warming them up. So.
Okay, so 9.
9. Okay. All right, mixed results for everybody. Wow. Okay.
Oh no, wait a second. Yes, 9. I was misreading
3d6
that for a second.
Yeah, 3d6 type 2 highest plus your presence modifier.
Yep.
Okay. I forgot the cardinal rule. Always bring a bride. Yeah. See, I mean,
yeah. That's how Pearl operates.
That's true. That is true. And you've done it. This is your
my
grifting
wheelhouse.
way. This is your wheelhouse. This is your grifting way, which is bribe with food. Absolutely. Mm-hmm. Gotcha. All right. No, that's great. All right, I'm going to head back to Mazi real quick. All right. So oh man. Oh, do I give this to you? I don't know.
Oh
boy. Sure, because it's fun. All right.
It's a jade egg.
Nothing quite so simple, dear. You have wandered. I think you've wandered into a scene of pulp fiction, because what you find as you're conveniently, doing your little meddling and kind of looking in your old lady way, but then kind of moving things over. And I think Mazi's a little bit more physical than the others, where, I mean, driving a car, you still have to have good reflexes and such. Maybe you knock things over just to kind of get them out of the way. And then you catch and move. You find, and I'm just going to put it into the clue list first before I say them out loud. Okay.
Okay.
And I'll even give you the pleasure of saying them out loud if you want.
Yes. All right. So I'll I was wondering if we were gonna have some of this. Yeah, so I'm looking at all her beautiful facial cleaners and things and kind of pushing them around, and then just casually like pull open the drawer of the vanity, and inside is a ball gag, couple pairs of handcuffs, and a riding crop. And I'm like, oh boy, and just quietly push it closed again, like, all right, that's you do you, girl, keep going.
As you do, you hear voices coming closer to the door of her trailer. It's like, I really think you'd look wonderful in those shorts that I saw in the magazine. Let me show you the magazine. Come in.
um
I'm going to
So
leave you there
it's-
for a second.
yeah, okay. It's a standard kind of trailer that like
Yep.
you would see on the stats. Okay,
One
just so I
door.
know them.
One door.
One door,
Or if
one
you,
in.
if you think you're good at boosting, then like there is the skylight that
I was going
Caviar.
to say there's a trap door on top.
Yep. There's a skylight or sun door, sunroof or whatever. So yes, that's one of those. Hold on, let
Or
me
if
write
you
this thing.
think they're too distracted to be using the teeny little bathroom, well then.
Whoop. Okay. And then let's go to Cynthia. All right. So you were oh god. Yeah. So cringe. Yeah. I mean, like and he doesn't look at you again. He's like really furiously changing these shows now as he talks, and he says, yes, it was my family's recipe, and I messed it up. I was thinking of my Meemaw the whole time, and I messed it up. I can't believe I did that. I mean, I've done it a million times. I'm not given to hyperbole, but I've done it a million times, and I cannot believe I messed it up. And each time he's getting a little bit more upset, he starts leaning into you and like still furiously changing the channels. It's like, I'm so horrible. I mean, I can't believe I disappointed my family in this way. And then just breaks down crying. But as he's breaking down crying, sorry.
So I'm definitely going to take this opportunity to comfort him in a grandmotherly way.
Okay, great. And but go ahead and tell me how you do that as I pick out a suitable clue. Goodness.
So he's collapsed into me, of course,
Yes.
and my grandmotherly
Mhm.
aura, and I just have my arms around him, and I say, your grandmother, I'm sure, would be or is proud, depending on her current state.
She passed away 5 years ago. Like left
Absolutely.
me her recipes. I
Yes.
cannot believe
It's awful, I know. You're okay. It's all right. There's nothing to fret about. You're not out of the competition yet, you know?
Oh, I'm not. Oh, and then like he kind of perks up. I mean, he's still willing to like lay his head on your, on your bosom, and just like, but just kind of like with the realization of like, oh, I'm not down yet. I can do this. His tears are streaming. I'm like, you're noticing some dampness on your bosom. He's crying a lot. It's fine. I'm sorry.
I got two babies. I got Caviar and I got
Oh, Caviar's coming over, I'm sure. And then probably like, trying to sit on him, like,
yes,
since
yes.
he's next to you. And
Caviar's
such.
being charming as well.
Oh, yes. I think
He's much more charming than I am.
well, I think what he's actually doing is like he's licking the salty tears off of off of his face.
Always a bit of a debate with cats.
Yes, always just like, and
Meow.
it's like, oh, that's rough. Oh, ow.
Don't mind Caviar, darling. He loves you.
Oh,
Purr.
and then he'll like kind of
Meow.
calm himself down by trying to like the Jeep purr, and then just kind of calming himself down by petting Caviar. And I think
We're all under so much stress. It's easy to miss the mark when you're stressed.
It's true. It's true. I mean, I've been on the baking show before. I mean, I was on the show like 3 years ago.
Were you? I didn't know that.
Yeah. I mean, and this is where he removes himself slowly from Caviar's like, looking of his face, and then he'll kind of move so his arms are like are resting on his thighs as he leans forward and talks about it. He basically says that he famously went home after an explosive on-camera argument with Paul about a pan of overbaked muffins. So,
Wow. And you came back. That is so brave. You should be proud of
Well-
yourself.
well, I mean, it wasn't just for me. It wasn't just for me that I came back. I mean, I might have been involved with, and then he kind of murmurs it and like moves his hand across his face, and just kind of like, you don't quite hear it, but it sounds like Paul. He was involved with Paul.
I'm sorry, dear. These old ears are terrible at hearing. What did you say?
I was involved with Paul.
Like a business venture?
No.
Like
I mean,
a
you can, and
romance?
then here's your clue. And there were some outtakes. I mean, Buck gets everything. I mean, he's a really good cameraman, and he
Buck does get everything.
yeah, and he had captured some outtakes of everybody. But
Mhm.
when he showed us the reel later, the outtakes were suggesting that, well, actually they were. I mean, like this is the reason that I had been, well, kicked off. And the clue is the outtakes suggesting a very tense off-camera relationship. And that is your clue for that. Okay.
Between Scott and Paul?
Between Scott and Paul. Yep. So, okay. And then
This
before
place is a hotbed.
yeah, and then before I give you the well, actually, you know what? Let me give you the complication, because then like this might be verging into the cliffhangers for next time for real. I think what's going to happen is that, yeah, I think Melanie has been distracted, and like while she's wanted to go back into the tent, they won't let her because everybody's still on break and all this kind of stuff. She walks into the she walks into the lounge and kind of looks at you two, and then frowns and then says, are you two conspiring to win this competition? Are you trading recipes without me? What is going on? And we're going to cut over to Pearl. Pearl, you are engaged, you're having fun, and like they're teaching you how to play this game a little bit. And
Which I am not good at, but I'm
no,
cheerful
but
about it.
they're enjoying it. They're totally charmed. It's fine. And they're like, you hear, I think they kind of they're very friendly with people for the most part. I mean, like, you know, not only are they good presenters, but I mean, like, they're also very good at, like, you know, chatting people up and everything like this. But this is the first time that they're just able to kind of be themselves and, like, you know, and chat you
Let
up a
their
little bit.
hair down off camera, kind of.
Pretty much. I mean, like, you know, they're not playing
Well,
video games on screen. For
Timothy's
sure.
hair is very much down no matter what.
Oh yeah,
but
yeah. Well, I mean, like it's in his face because, like, every so often, like, as he's winning or losing, he's like riffling it through his hair, so it kind of like sticks up in weird angles. But they start telling stories on each other, and then like saying how fun it is to work and do the show. But I mean, like they have other projects and such like that have happened for them, and then they start mentioning how Paul had gotten a dressing down from the head of the BBC. And that is your clue.
My goodness, what did he do?
Oh, we don't know. It's just something that when you get cold on the carpet by the head of the network, it's
Oh my goodness,
it's more than a little important, right?
Yes, absolutely. Oh goodness.
I mean, we could be talking scandal, but when aren't we talking scandal, eh? I'm kind of like ribbing you both, and playing the game a little further. But that's about as far as you get, because then they start talking about something else or telling another story about like when they were doing like a different show, or maybe when they were like doing a pilot that didn't quite fly or what have you
On the comedy circuit together.
Yeah,
whatever.
exactly. It's like how'd you do like when you were over in Cardiff, mate, that kind of thing. So yeah, so those are your clues. What your complication is, I don't think you're going to be able to practice. I don't think you're going to be able to leave their leave their company until like just before everybody's called back for the cake off, literally. So I think you're going to be busy. And let's see, hold on.
I'm just lucky that I'm not buzzed from waste smoke, but
yeah, hold on a second. I'm just trying to think. I could also give you a condition as well. I'm trying to think.
Pearl comes out of the trailer red-eyed and attacks the craft services table.
Do you want the condition stoned? I mean,
Sure.
Munchies. No.
Oh, there we go. Munchies.
Your condition is munchies. Mm-hmm.
Are you gonna sample your own goods in the cakes round?
Oh, probably.
Probably. My God.
Turn it a half-eaten cake.
Yup. Munchies. Okay. And Cynthia, let me see. I didn't give you a condition yet. Shoot.
I wrote something down. What did I write down?
Hit a nerve. Yeah.
Hit a nerve.
Oh, okay, great. Okay.
I don't have a condition, but I'm also still possibly in a very questionable position.
Well, let me ask you something before I have you roll. What is your plan? Do you have a plan?
Oh
God.
Bust Buck. Tell him.
Yeah. Yeah, you know what? I'm going to play it cool. I am the driver. I'm going to sit on the bed. Just, like that, almost that like imposing, like motherly figure. And when they walk in the door, I'd be like, you two seem a little friendly.
Nice. Okay. All right. So let's see how well you pull this off. I'm going to say composure.
Please don't fail. Please don't fail. All right, nice. Don't fail me now. What's my composure? I think that's the higher one I have. Yes. Okay, so that's a +2.
Okay.
Oh, I rolled a 10.
Nice.
I rolled 2 5s.
Nice.
So total for 12.
I mean, really, I should have called a day move, but you know what? It's too delicious. I was fine with it. Okay. So you can get a. Actually, do you mind if I call that a day move? Because I mean, it actually is more suitable.
Sure. I mean,
Okay.
I don't remember the difference between them, so yeah.
Okay. Well, I mean, the meddling move is when you're actively investigating.
Oh yeah.
And then day move is like when you're doing something that you either fear or it's like kind of risky. So.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that would probably be the risky.
Okay, so you succeed, and then like you pull this off like, you know, nonchalant. It's like, and you say what you say, and they're both agog when they open the door. Now Buck comes in and he's looking kind of like, you know, just really surprised. And then Donna's looking pissed. She is mad as hell. It's like, what are you doing in my trailer? What's the meaning of this?
I came to speak to you, but on my way here, I saw, and I'm just going to motion to the pair. I saw a little handsy business going on.
Oh,
and
no. And then
I
Buck
figured,
immediately puts his hands up and says, no. I mean, she was trying to show me, like, you know, some of the stuff that you know, she was thinking of for some of the modeling in a magazine. And then he turns to her and says, like, it was a magazine, right? For bodybuilders? It's like, I think I still have to work on a lot of stuff. I mean, like, this one's bigger than the other one, but I mean, you know, I think once I work on that, I think I'll be fine. I think I'll be great. But I mean, like, do you have that magazine here? I mean, he's completely like oblivious, and she's just, when he turns away from her to look at you, she's looking extremely pissed at you. I think I have it over here. And then this is when she grabs the bodybuilding magazine that you saw on the vanity. And then she'll show it to him and kind of be like looking pointedly at you as she thrusts this magazine in his chest. Here, this is what I was talking about. You may want to consider getting this this built, and then we can talk. I might be able to get you into one of these magazines.
So as she's saying that, I'll probably just very calmly like stand up. You know, I'm imagining I wear what is my dress style? I dress nice, don't I? Mavens. Alexis Carrington Colby.
Oh yeah,
so
you do.
Yeah. So kind of get up, straighten my skirts out.
You dress much better. You dress much better and more fashionably than her. Let's put it that way.
Oh yeah, I'm not covered in leopard print.
Exactly.
It's not all spandex. So I will just kind of get up, and so as I'm kind of walking past her to go out the door, I'll just be like, I won't say anything of this to anyone, but keep in mind that I have seen things, and walk out the door.
And Buck kind of calls, or like you hear Buck saying, it's like, seeing things. What is she talking about? Like, again, he's completely completely a himbo. My God.
Yeah.
An adorable himbo, but a himbo. Yes.
And I might make a note that I don't slam the door. I like do the full like turn around and like closing it, you know, like fully compose everything. Just like
right.
Eye contact too. Closing the door.
But I think he will actually come after you, and then like with the magazine in hand, like he's completely ignoring the fact that like maybe she wanted him to stay. Yeah. And it's like, hey, I'm and then like, so he's gonna follow you. So at this point, I'm just gonna leave it at that. However you want to deal with it, like we'll think of it in our theater of the mind. But I mean, I want to ask, it's like, you know, so we can carry this over into next time, because I mean, it's like it's gonna run late if we go too far. I mean, I would love to do just the stars and wishes for this session, unless you want to just breeze through the end of session questions, stars and wishes, and then I owe you that void clue.
I'm good with that.
Okay.
Those three. Yes.
Okay. Let's start with you, Mazi. Okay. Did you solve a mystery? No. Did you dote on someone?
I don't think I did.
Okay. Did you secretly undermine the authority of a local official? Excuse
me. No, I don't think so. Although I did disobey because they said not to go poking around, but but I did not. I don't think I did that.
Okay.
So.
Yeah, you didn't outwardly say he's kind of not good at his job. So no.
Yeah, not this time.
Not this time. Okay. Cynthia, didn't solve a mystery. Did you share your wisdom with a young person?
No,
Did you secretly undermine the authority of a local official?
I tried, but he wasn't present.
Yeah.
You were thinking about it.
I was.
Mhm, I was
thinking
too.
about it.
Got it. I know. It's always fun when he's around. It's great.
It-
And Pearl, no mystery. Did you show someone that you still got it?
With the baking, I think I did.
Yes, for sure.
Yes.
Did you share the memory of a late family member? Sorry.
Yeah, I talked
Mm.
about Bob and
Yeah.
his wisdom,
True.
which was probably a lie, or he might have said things like that, but he said them in character. Because he was really not that cuddly a guy.
Right. But you didn't have to tell her that. It's fine. It's
Yep,
good.
no, I
These are the memories that you've created.
Mhm.
So yeah, go ahead and take those 2 points and then put them down in your XP track. Okay. All right. So real quick, stars and wishes, and then remind me before we sign off to do the void clip. Okay. So whoever wants to start. Stars, the things you liked, wishes that you had hoped would happen this session, if not for next session.
Absolute stars to you, Mads, for the plot twists this time.
Thank
I'm
you.
I'm getting big mad over here on mute.
Oh no.
No, it's great. It's great. Buck is canceled. He's canceled.
Oh no.
Canceled. Of course, I don't know that. Cynthia doesn't,
No.
Yeah, yeah.
She thinks that
Hyacinth doesn't know that yet, but
right. But I mean, like, what
I'm
does
mad
what
for
does
her.
anybody really know? I mean, to be honest,
Exactly.
what does anybody really know what's going on?
Caviar knows everything.
Well, yeah.
Meow.
Wow.
Well, evidently Caviar likes Scott. So I mean, like, that's something.
Meow. Wishes. I definitely want to see. I think I said this last time, but I want to see more of the Mavens working together.
Mhm.
Like we're all kind of doing our own thing, which I love. The characters are great, and I'm loving seeing them develop. But I think that once we really get settled into our characters, it's going to be so much fun. I did love the cozy vignette. What was that? We did it the
No,
first.
we
Cozy
didn't
moves?
do the
Yeah,
we
the
didn't
cozy
quite
moves.
do the cozy vignette, which is my fault because the cozy moves are a little bit different from the
cozy
vignette.
moves,
The
right?
vignette is the stuff that happens at the beginning of the episode, like the credit crawl, like to
Mhm.
intro the show, or maybe like there's a scene, like something happening in the show, and then they go to the credit crawl introduction of the show, and then like you hear the theme song, and that's the cozy vignette time. But I missed it this time because I knew we had a lot to do. So, pardon. I mean, we'll get to it. We should get to it every single time, like from now on. So just to make sure that that's in there for sure. Okay.
That's it for me.
Oh man. I mean, stars to everybody for like the characters and just the like, oh honey, with Cynthia. And she's just like doting and everything. And I was like, oh, I wish she'd taken like the doting on someone. I think you're reading my questions. Yeah. And
you guys are
then-
not that interchangeable yet. Okay.
Yes. Yeah, and Pearl, like your cooking stuff, like your jammy Dodgers were just great. So awesome. Love it. And of course, Mads, the story is a blast. And I like all the twists and turns and the like, oh no moments, as well as the subtle, not so subtle innuendos and puns that we've been throwing in. You're muted, by the way, if you're saying something.
I'm just saying, oh my God, the puns. You
Yeah.
know what? I'm going to say for you, the condition is the dough thickens. You put that in the chat, so now you get it back.
All right, I'll take it.
Nice.
And then I guess for wishes, I don't know. I want to see who did it. I want to know who did it. I do think like Luna, I want to see our characters a little bit more interacting with each other. I don't know how, in what circumstance in this particular scenario it's gonna work, but definitely can't wait to see them kind of working with each other.
Well, I loved what everybody was doing tonight. This is I just love this group and it clicking so well. But particularly my star for tonight, Luna, it was so much fun having that cozy move where Cynthia's not sure what to do and Pearl's like, go get you some, girl. So he's not for the long term. So what? Because Pearl is always going to be that friend.
Everybody needs that friend.
And so that was just a really fun conversation. Uh yes. Um and wishes, yeah, I am also looking forward to seeing how we solve this and pull it together. Which, we didn't have time for tonight. That's not a problem. It's just a simple fact of, things take some time when we're all having fun with it and clicking along. So that is what I am looking forward to, particularly next time. And yes, I do look forward to more of us bouncing off each other and working together and all that.
Stars for all of you for all the investigations. I mean, you guys make it so easy to come up with stuff because of the way you get yourselves into trouble. It's like, oh, I know that's going to happen. Oh, I know that's going to happen. They're going to, oh, shit. I mean, and it's like you get this really good feeling from Brindlewood Bay as a whole, which is like a star for the whole system. Not only the mystery mechanic, of course, but I mean, like the very simple moves that can turn real complex real quick, depending on how you are delving into the investigation. And regardless of whether you're doing it together or if you're doing it, separately, it's still so much fun to see what directions you go. So again, stars on all of you. I mean, like, I loved like the commercial. I loved the way you're handling like some of the complications or conditions, and those cozy moves were really nice. I mean, like that, like, again, once you fall into a rhythm, then you're gonna probably team up more, and then you're probably going to be just jumping right into the cozy moves right after the cozy vignettes, and just gonna be like, boom, we got to get rid of these conditions or keep them depending on how much it affects your life. It's fine. I just still think it's hilariously funny that Cynthia has no idea that Buck could possibly be stooping out on her, or maybe not, because he's too much of a himbo to really know what other people are intending. So, I mean, if you want to clue him in next time, Mazi, that's perfectly fine with me. And then yeah, the investigations were really cool. So don't forget, you have two to be determined clues in there that you can start trying to match up with all the other ones. You guys have 11 clues on a 7 complexity, which I understand the safety. I understand the safety completely. So try to figure out how you want to fit in 11 clues all together to make a cohesive theory. Exactly. Because it's not going to give you any pluses if you don't get enough. If you can't use them. Exactly. They're just kind of like, oh, are they red herrings? Whatever. So stars for all of that. I mean, everybody's got some specific moments, but of course I'm just like, I write them down, but then, I don't write them down. So it's like, shit. Again, stars. And then wishes. Yeah, I want to see how you solve this. I want to see how you theorize all this stuff into a cohesive whole to be able to say this person did it, or 2 people, or whoever the hell did it. You know what I mean? So
everybody did it but us. That's all there is to it.
Well, I mean, don't forget,
I heard it was Mazi.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Somebody's yeah. So about Buck, and then like Pearl knows about
Yeah.
God. Oh my.
Yep. I
Truly
will be a pal and clue you in about that. But
Okay.
I mean, and again, for the next time, I mean, like, you guys can kind of take the chance to come together if you want before the last round, because we still have the last round, which is the cakes. This is the big one. So like in GBBO, if you are going to hit the final, it's usually that last bit of you must be spectacular for this last bake.
How did I make it this far?
Well, again, it's like, oh my God,
I just wasn't the worst.
you just weren't the worst. It's
yeah.
It's really
I
all
don't
it
have to
takes.
outrun the bear. I just have to outrun you.
exactly, exactly.
God.
Yeah. I mean, Scott's obviously suffering because it's like, he let his family down. He let his Meemaw down. Oh my God.
Meemaw.
Meemaw. So anyway, yeah. So stars, and for everything that this was a really good episode. And
Mhm.
I hope you don't mind the pacing, because I mean, again, it's like I'm running with whatever you guys are interested in. And it's just hilariously funny and fascinating to see how you delve into the investigation. So I don't want to dim that fire. I think that's fabulous. And again, once you guys get into a rhythm, you're probably going to be speeding through these things because you're teaming up and then doing things in the same scene or what have you, or playing off of each other. Who knows?
Mhm.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, the timer on the void mystery, which is the overarching thing that paces the game, is the void clues. So there's different layers that get hit, like when you get to a certain point of so many void clues. But you only got introduced to your first void clue today because of the 12 plus. So your void clue for today, stinger scene. Yeah. You guys are in your different different scenes, closing out. Maybe you've talked with Scott, Cynthia, or like, still giving him some solace, like, you're still in it to win it, man, or whatever you want to say. Mazi, it's like, you you have Buck chasing after you, just trying to show you the magazine, and it's like, she says that I have a really good chance to be model in one of these mags. Just have to like fix this, like this bicep difference, you know what I mean? Like like that, those like 3 milliliters really make a difference. Millimeters, wait, milliliters? Wait, and thinking about it. And then Pearl, I mean, you've got the munchies now from coming out of the, yeah, I think we do see you at the craft table and you're like, starting to really dig in per se. And as that's happening, I think that it looks like the sun goes behind a cloud as we reach the end, dusk, and the shadow of something unnatural is crawling atop the baking tent. And that is where we're going to close tonight's session. Thank you, ladies, so much for a wonderful time. And I look forward to seeing how you solve this mystery and resolve for next time. Okay. But again, I'm putting it on video, but I'll probably be completely clueless and forget. But we're going to start with the cozy vignettes, credit crawl, introing the show. Cozy moves, if you want to, just before the final round of the bake, the last bake of the contest. And then they'll be judging, and then you'll be theorizing, I'd assume. And then hopefully we have the resolution for this particular mystery to close out GBBBO. Thinking there was enough bees. And then if there's time, then we will go ahead and start a new one, or at least like, just get to the beginnings of one. And if not, then we end early and it's fine. Okay. So you guys have a wonderful, I think it's a couple of weeks. Yeah. And then I'll see you, or yeah, couple, 3 weeks. I forget which, but whichever, I will see you that next date. And then I'll post it in the chat once I remember what it is.
Okay.
All right. Have a wonderful night. Oh my gosh. All right.
Yes.
See you next
Thanks.
time.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye bye.